Yeah, I think this is going to be fun here because I will have to sort of destroy the funny bits of what we can all do and where we can go because yes, actually, what's the value here for the advertising industry and all this flurry of total video? We've tried to sort of transform TV to total video. That's our slang from our department, our marketing department, which they kind of force into all the messaging that we try to do. But it's really the question, you know, what do these three different guys here actually want? A quizmaster, a young pope, and a major laser that's collecting billions of video views on one of our multi-channel networks, one of the biggest in the world, broadband TV. You know, what do they want? Well, they obviously want money, yeah? So we need to commercialize these views. Eyeballs are not the bottleneck anymore. I think they are everywhere, but we really have to take a view on how can we extract the monetization models in this. And the key in all of this, unfortunately for a broadcaster, is technology and data. So if this panel or this group here today, this afternoon, is all about digital first, it's more about digital technology and data first. And I think that's one of the key insights and learnings also in the last couple of months and years on our journey in this transforming TV business that we have found. So I'm trying to be very untechnical here. You're going to see a few charts coming up in the next couple of minutes on how we see this, because what I'm also getting a little bit confused about when talking about this, you know, when we're talking about addressable, programmatic, there are just so many solutions in there. And maybe we are also part of that you know, flaw in there, because also we are offering solutions with our broadcasters, but we are trying to actually extract the insights and the scalability of what broadcast used to be in the new ways. And I think when we talk about all the different questions you were just mentioning, branded content and all of these things, these are important measures and important assets to engage with our users and also with our advertising clients, trying to create really innovative campaigns. The question is only how can we scale it up and to refinance all that content that also needs to be produced for that. We cannot only do this through branded campaigns, we will also have to do it through technology-driven, scalable solutions. And at the moment, everybody wants to sort of go right to the end of the line and the holy grail here, the linear TV, and being addressable through set-top boxes. And I always admire the colleagues here from Sky who've got their AdSmart solutions. But it's also on an island in a sense, and I think we are still not there on actually making it work. So looking at the whole flow, we have the traditional online video that is also been kind of coming under pressure more and more as digital products have also been coming under pressure in terms of pricing and debates around quality and availability and the data of that. But then you sort of move across and say, okay, this is on demand, purely viewable on the PC, but you move along to connected TV devices, the screen gets bigger, yeah, and how do you actually make that kind of, make a business model across these screens. So 5 examples here, and I'll start off with SpotX and SmartClip, the 2 companies that we acquired in the last 2 and 3 years, which are really about the scale about this business. If you want to be successful, you will need to have scale on a global basis. I think SpotX is a prime example how an independent programmatic solution can gain scale with 7 billion ad decisions per day, and they are really creating a reach. I think if you count everything together, it's somewhere around 600 million uniques per month. Yeah, so this is really a scale business, and the colleagues from SmartClip being very strong in European markets like in Germany and in Scandinavia. And then you need to connect all these dots on all these screens. And one of the examples that I wanted to bring here is an investment we did with VideoAmp that is really trying to really grind the data that is around different users, different IDs, and making unique users also affinitive to the actual content they're watching. And VideoAmp is really at the spearhead of trying to make that work. The company's based in LA, and their real kind of trick of the trade is really to make TV campaigns match the online buying. So in a way, they're not a pure DSP, they're something like a DXP, I call them, because it's really something that is really trying to make a match between what is a linear, traditional TV campaign versus the online buy that a media agency or trade desk would have to do anyway, trying to make this work together. One of the questions that I also, every time I kind of look at this, addressable TV, is it actually working? And, when will all the set-top boxes be right and ready? Will the infrastructure work? Well, as a matter of fact, then the next solution comes along, and our colleagues from SmartClip in Hamburg have really created something that is then actually going over the top. Why do we need to have a program broadcasted linearly and have a set-top box feeding in the advertising campaign? No, you could still also frame it, and that's working already with 13 million HBB TV households in Germany. And in some markets, HBB TV is not en vogue so far yet, but it's definitely that solution that can be available with any smart TV and internet connection out there, and would actually be able also to address it. Our friends here at SmartClip, they are actually doing it. They've sold already 60 campaigns across these addressable TV hybrid or the HBB TV kind of offers, and that's an encouraging sign, and they are waiting to roll out further. And yes, we had already the example, sport events, big sports events are great opportunities to discuss with advertisers innovative ideas and opportunities, and colleagues at M6 who were co-hosting and airing the Euro this year, then try to do the ad break, yeah. And I don't know, I'm feeling like an ad break myself here at the moment, but sometimes in the TV world, you will have to make sure that all the other channels that you're trying to serve actually will have a similar kind of look and feel in terms of ad breaks being potentially stitched with other content that is more dedicated, more relevant to the user. I always smile a little bit at this chart because I kind of see there's this dotted line which says, there's a 12-minute kind of ad break, let's say, as an example, and there's these boxes which are called filler boxes, yeah? I mean, when you just look at that, yeah, I'm just waiting for the time where we don't have to do these kind of trying to extend or bring it back to a length or something just to make it work similar as in TV, and that we will actually be as flexible in a non-linear world as we are in a linear world, and actually deciding on how long the ad break is, and actually having a flexible solution that will actually serve our customers well, depending on the audience as well, that are depending on what kind of device they're watching it. And then we come to clipped. And this is as we move across the route from online video over to linear. This is actually becoming the Champions League on what you will need to achieve. And the guys here in Boston have developed a solution for the US cable networks where it's really about automatizing and creating more and better visibility of TV inventory in the United States in the cable industry, and they've already achieved something very fantastic. They've got roughly 20% of the cable networks already on their platform. They've onboarded them. They have got linear TV inventory available for buyers, so that they can actually get a better data-driven and advanced insight into available advertising slots in there. And this will actually bring more automation into the linear TV world. It will also bring some great let's say, value adds for networks, because you have a lot of daytime parts which maybe not be monetizing well. You've got a lot of audiences across the daytime that is undervalued, and Clipped can actually create this visibility of inventory through the data activation, and that's what they're doing today. Obviously, the direction and the idea and the vision behind it is to actually then match digital and TV inventory in a similar way, so that you will actually have a truly cross-screen optimized solution. And the good news is, for everybody in the room, Clipped is also coming to Europe, so they're open for business, and one of our first parties is that we are going to work on with this is our own, of course, that's IP Deutschland, and we will work in Germany on actually trying to get that to work. And then we come to the last bus stop, and the last bus stop on this tour is really the addressable TV. And to be honest, I've seen also many colleagues here from the true addressable and set-top box driven business here also today. The stumbling blocks, in my view, are not getting less, they are actually getting more. Because in the flurry of different technologies out there, what we've heard here today, it's also becoming much more of an issue, not only in terms of infrastructure. That was always the prime argument to say addressable TV, targeting by TV is not going to come just because the infrastructure is not there. But now we've got also all these different distribution means and devices that will also ask for even more sophisticated, even more complex solutions than just being able to address the set-top box. Yes, we also have these discussions around privacy, user experience. Yes, we also should get some kind of view on what's the currency actually we're talking about. And last but not least, who's actually owning the data. I hope, and that's the red one, the red stumbling block in a way is kind of, that regulation will also be a little bit more friendly to us. But in Germany and France, for instance, regional advertising or geo TV advertising is not allowed so far. So in essence, we will have to sort of start getting our thinking caps on how we could actually solve solutions amongst ourselves, so that we actually keep a smiling business, smiling face on, in a way. Because obviously from a broadcaster perspective, we will hope that any addressability, any direct-to-consumer engagement will bring us to an increased CPM and a better yield. Obviously, what we don't want is cherry-picking and unsold inventory left. The agency would potentially, love to facilitate any kind of innovation, and I think we need to be strong partners in that and actually trying to do this. But the risk of having any other party in there trying to disintermediate is so great and so big that I can understand that that's also a bottleneck. If we look at the advertiser, yes, targeting is something that there is in. You could actually sort of erase that word targeting and just say efficiency, cost efficiency, and saving money. I fully understand that. That will get the advertiser smiling. But obviously, what we've also heard in several examples over time, targeting is not the best in any case. You will also may potentially not sell anything. I think TV has always been, in the end, about purchase intent and people actually trying to get the advertising seen and buying the products. Last but not least, to get our view here on the tech enablers and the technology companies that are so key in this transformation of the businesses. Can we really create value add? Are we not just creating a new island, a new walled garden? Because in the end, that is something that will not help us as an industry, at least when it comes from us. Obviously, there are other players out there that will buy and work only on the walled garden concept, but also there, I don't think that is a long and sustainable approach. So the world is getting more complicated. We do see a lot of encouragement for the future. We can create something. We should have a bird's eye view on what is actually happening in our industry. But the devil is obviously in the detail. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to say one question from the audience, but before I do, I've got a question for you. Based on that presentation, you've invested in a lot of ad tech companies. In fact, you're doing a very good job of selling those ad tech companies. He's taking away my job there. But what I want to know is, those investments RTL has made in ad tech companies, what have you gained most from it? Has it been knowledge? Has it been innovation in the industry? Has it been revenue? You know, what have you really gained from those investments in ad tech companies?
Well, for one, it's definitely, you know, we've gained business. I mean, that's sure. We also gained a little bit more a higher share of voice in this whole industry. I think it's not really easy to talk about colors when you're blind, and in a sense. And I think that now we have roughly, I think we counted it a couple of weeks ago, roughly 1,000 people through the digital acquisitions actually who have joined the RTL group over the last 2 years. And that is a totally different conversation on how you can actually manage issues and drive solutions.
Yeah. Do we have time? One question from the audience? Oh, yeah, we have one there from John Moulding. Why don't you shout, because we're...
It's just, the last panel was talking a lot about creating addressability across 100% of the pay TV footprint. But what happens once we've got all the pay TV on board? What happens to the free-to-air market, which is still half of the market? You know, are we going to have to get addressability on free-to-air platforms like TNT and Freeview and people like that?
Well, I think you can have a provocative approach here to say, you know, is it really only about the traditional set-top box-driven pay TV community? You know, I think the world is getting much bigger. I was looking at some figures and some stats from Asia, Southeast Asia, a couple of weeks ago, and we have, I think, roughly 25 million pay TV subscribers in Asia, but we have 250 million broadband TV users, and the broadband users are going to increase more or less by double, while the pay TV offers are going to be stable. So I think there's a lot of things happening that you would say, you know, I'm not talking about a short cycle. I'm really talking about a long-term cycle, a 10 to 15-year view. I think it will look different. The landscape also for pay solutions and pay offers will be different. So for advertising, I think you will have to be across the board. You will also have to serve pay offers and also be in the free and commercial area, which we just heard with the example from Via Free. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Rhys. Round of applause, everybody. Thank you.